if you're here. Let's see. A couple of minutes. Trying to figure out what is it. I am sitting here trying to figure out why the screen is going sideways on this instead of what it normally does. And I don't know what I've done differently, so if you guys can deal with that, I think it really doesn't matter for this, so whatever. So we got Kathy, good, and Carolyn and Jenny and Barbara. Hey guys. I think I've been spending way too much time in front of the computer hunched over. I have just, my back has just been crazy. I imagine we're all doing the same thing though, right? Okay, we are close here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I think it's there for time here. Hi, Maria. I went ahead and I gessoed everything here. And it was a bit of a challenge on some of these textures, like this one that was the screen stuff, not screen, like that green Brillo-ish pad thing. And then this was the fuzzy fake fur, which actually could be kind of an interestingly cool texture. I've done something with it, so we'll see. But those were kind of a challenge. Also up here on this, I guess this really is the Brillo pad. Remember I had 2 layers there, and I went ahead and decided to just slice off the top layer so that I had just 1 layer on there. And I sunk it down into the heavy molding paste there, and it's still, it's rainy and humid here, so things aren't drying as well as they could be. So I went ahead and put that in there. I'm trying to remember what that even is. Not sure. Oh, this was like that packing material. That's kind of interesting. It's like the paint ate it. Can you see that? This is bizarre. It's like the paint ate into it. Really, really weird, and dissolved it. I'm liking that. I might have to do more of that. Okay, so I chose, because on the example piece, what brings this, unifies this, everything together is the color, because you've got so many things that are totally different. The color is all that's going to bring them in together. I've used the blues, the copper, and gold on this, and I think I'm going to choose fairly similar to that, and I may add some more after it's done, or I may not, who knows. I chose to start out with this, hey Mary Ellen, hey Mary Lou. This is a Deco Art Elegant Finish Metallic Paint. It's like one of a seafoam green. It's really pretty. So I went ahead and painted these bottom ones so that you could see what it looks like. These have dried pretty well. This is the burlap, and I did that this morning, and it just hasn't had a chance to dry yet. However, you can still paint on top of it. Especially since all I'm gonna do is brush on, dry brush on my metallic. Now, I love copper. Copper's my thing. It's just, that's what I love. So I'm going to put that on top of this, and then I may try this middle one gold and then do copper again over here. Like I said, I don't know. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. I pretty much never have a plan, and wherever it ends up is where it ends up. So let's just check this out and see. This is, by the way, Sargent liquid metals. These are fairly inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon. They also have them, I'm sure, at Blick or any of the other art supply stores online. So I'm getting it on my brush here, wiping most of it off. And I've got this mat here, and I can just kind of pounce it there to get most of it off my brush. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm holding my brush parallel to the surface of my painting here. I knew it wasn't perpendicular. My mother was a math teacher. She'd be horror-struck if she could hear me trying to figure out what the difference was. Poor mom. So, here we go. Obviously, getting the metallic on there really, really, really makes a difference. Okay, I'm going to try the gold just for grins. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe this. I keep wet wipes here because now I use them now too. So I'm just wiping most of this off on my wet wipe. Rinsing it briefly. Get my gold out. Let's see how this looks. I have a feeling this may look even better. So a little bit gold pounce. And let's see. Oh, I think I like that better. Maybe I could use a different paint on every one of them. I could do that. Wait a minute, let's see. What about, oh, now I'm getting enthused here. Hold on a second. Oh, there's my book. Except I can't open it. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try on this last one. Let's try this blue. It's also the liquid metal from Sargent. I just find those to be good to keep around in the studio. I like them when I'm doing overall painting for a bottom layer because these are more opaque than the Color Art Vivids or anything that's gel-based. So I put this down first and then I can come on top with some of the more translucent paints. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay. Really lightly. You can always add more, but man, you can't really take it off once you got it on here. Well, that's kind of cool too. Got this little fringe on the side. Okay, that's kind of neat. I'm not sure that it accentuated the movement, the hills and valleys going on in that, but hey, it's good. It's all good. Okay, so we can continue painting. You're going to really need to get down in there for these pieces, okay? I mean, some of these thick ones are just big. So you're on your base color, you need to make sure that you get, in fact, let's try it on this one right here. Right down in there. So pounce it with your brush. And this is going to use the paint up. Actually, that's one of the reasons I chose this color is the fact that I had a lot of it. And it's not a color I use very often, so it's like, okay. That's pretty good for the first layer. I may want to come back in with a second layer on that. And when I'm painting this, I'm making sure that I also get the plaster that's actually compartmentalized these pieces. So I want to make sure I get that too. Again, just like when you put your molding paste down or your glue or whatever it is that you use to adhere, it's making a seal on the plaster to keep it from falling off. And I haven't done that on the sides, and I'm seriously thinking about just like pulling this plaster up and just cutting it off at the sides. just because, you know, just because, I don't know. These are cool. This is paper towel and that one's tissue paper. I love fabric, but I don't sew a stitch. My mother, bless her soul, she tried so hard to teach me, and it didn't take. But I love fabric. So I have boxes of fabric, and I'm not sure what I'm doing with them, but they're pretty. So it looks like a paper towel is going to have a little more substance than the tissue paper. Of course, that was also, the paper towel was also painted. It had paint on it, so that gave it a little more body. Okay, so don't worry about the thickness there of paint, just get it on there. You want to make sure you get it on every part of it. Okay, there you go. And just continue on in that manner. Let's try just one more, and then I'm going to show you something else. Let's go down here to these thick ones. Let's see what this looks like. This could be interesting. Again, I'm pouncing just to get, I'm not worried about slopping it on anything else because I know I'm going to paint them the same base color. So, and I am not, if you have seen my table, I am not a neat person in the studio. I do not cover my work surface when I'm painting. I thought about it briefly once. It was a very brief moment, and obviously I didn't do it. I just go. I get impatient to do things, and I just go for it. Okay, that's not bad here. It's kind of cool. As it dries, the paint's going to shrink more to the actual wire itself, so that'll work. I'm still enthralled by this piece here that just melted. I got to see if I can find what that piece was. Hold on. Oh, it was this stuff that I get to package up when I get imperfect food orders. This is part of the packaging, and I just kind of tore it apart and used a piece of it, and the paint just melted it. It's amazing. Okay. Ooh. Let's see if it continues to do it. And then I thought, since, you know, once we get through the initial part of gluing things down and actually creating the canvas itself, you know, watching me paint is like watching paint dry, which you're actually doing, or watching a pot boil. It's not that exciting. So I'm going to fill in a little bit with other things, especially since I've got my paint out here right now, this metallic paint. I can continue to show you some stuff. So what I'm going to show you today, put this aside, is adding paint or painting fabric to be used on your pieces. This is an example. This is the netting that you get. Hey Kathy, hey Allison. This is the netting that you get like on if you buy Clementine oranges, hey Suzanne, or whatever, this is that. So how did I get at that? First off, you want to make sure you put your gloves on for this, because you talk about messy. This sucker is messy. There will be paint everywhere, and this is just reinforce that don't touch your face thing, because I always do, and then get it all over my face. So we're gonna talk about a few fabrics here before we do it. Okay, I love cheesecloth. I love it, love it, love it. This is my favorite. It's a very loose weave. And I love to use this on paintings because it's such a cool texture. I don't have a lot of it, so I'm gonna save this size weave for those projects. However, I do have some that is a tighter weave, and so I'm gonna do that. So I've got that. I found this, no idea where it came from, but I like it because it's net. I love using net. This, like in bags of potatoes, it's almost it's really weird. It's like a plastic, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's pretty neat. Here's another net that you would find off something. Can you see that? Oh, there you go. This is actual netting. I mean, taffeta? What is it? Somebody needs to tell me what they used to make old petticoats and stuff out of. It's that kind of stuff. There's some more of that. We don't need that. This is a piece of fabric that has that net look. You know, another place to find stuff like this is if you hit, well, when this is all over and you can get out again, the thrift stores, you can buy, you know, go in there and dig and find clothing that has the fabric that's really textured. Grab it. You pay 50 cents for it. It's yours. You can go home and cut it up. And I had one day several months ago, I went into Joann's when we were in town and bought a bunch of fabric that I thought would be cool, just little pieces of it. And this is another one. This is a real tighter. It's stretchy in one direction, not the other. That'll be neat. This stuff is really cool. Look at this. A gossamer kind of look there. We're going to try and paint that. And this, this is one that is some cheesecloth that I have already done. This is a metallic blue, which you really can't see very much on there. But I tried, let me get that closer. This morning I did like some of the silver on here and then the copper on here, just dry brushing it over. So it's just a matter of preference what you want to do. So let's go for it. What am I going to use? The copper. Okay. All righty. Where's my spiral? Sometimes it's easier if you get your stuff wet first. This is like playing with mud pies or something, you know. I'm just digging my hand in there with the copper paint, and I'm just squishing it all in there. You might find a project you can use your gloves for when you finish this, because the gloves are going to be really super cool. I'm just going to rub it, dip it back in there. That jar is almost empty, so you know, otherwise I'd be dipping in. But you just work it back and forth. You just want to saturate it. I think I need a little more on there. I use copper a lot in my art, so hey Connie, Michelle. So this is actually, I'm actually being able to look up at the phone now and see who's there every now and then when I remember. I'll get this eventually. Okay, so there's one piece that's kind of shedding as it goes. It's pretty neat. What am I going to do with it? I've got my trash bag here, and that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to lay them out to dry on the trash bag. They won't stick that way. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's try this one next. Let's try that. This is so much fun, guys. Seriously. I amuse myself. I guess that's a good thing. I'm out here by myself all the time. Oh, that's neat. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think I need a little bit more to get it really saturated. You can paint netting on your piece too. There's no reason that says you can't adhere it to your canvas and then paint it. But this way, you've got it done, and that's just awesome. I love that. I love making different materials for it to be used in my pieces, and sometimes when I am absolutely and totally unmotivated to do anything else in the studio, that's what I do. I will pick one material to create and make a store of, you know, put in a bin. And I've got things stored up so that when I do get that creative urge again, I have things made up to use in it. That's nice too. Cool. Okay, time for a different color. Okay, how about some gold? Well, let's see these fabrics, these different one here. Obviously, I've still got copper on my hands. Who cares? Okay, oops, and I didn't wet that one. It's such a thin fabric. I don't think I needed to. Obviously, this one's going to be a combination of copper and gold. Oh, looky there. Huh. If you had a clothesline in the studio, you could also hang these to dry. I think that's what I did last time I did these up. But they will be just fine on a plastic trash bag. Okay, I want to try this. Just because. This is such a weird feeling through the gloves. I have just a tatty bit of ADD and OCD contender. It's just a weird combination, but I really like doing stuff like this. And it's so satisfying when you get this big pile made up, it's done, and you're all ready. You don't have to waste time. Okay, this is super. Look at that. You can see that. That's great. Okay. I'm just going to do the fabrics and see how they turn out, and you can see the differences. It didn't take much on that netting. I love the way that the paint is in the little holes there, like honeycombs. That's a beautiful effect. Let's see. Oh, how about this piece of cheesecloth here. You can go back over and you can paint on it. You can stencil over it with all sorts of things. Hey, Kelly. You can do whatever you want to do because there are no rules. And if there are, they're meant to be broken. I am not a rules follower. That was not a good thing for me in teaching. I absolutely hated following rules, useless rules. And those of you who have taught know that it's full of them. I hated it. Okay, whoa, look at that. That almost looks like a snake skin or something. That's cool. And last, we'll try this stuff off the potato sack. Just want to use up what's on my gloves at the moment. I feel like I'm Midas. Okay. And then this dries and it stiffens it out more. If you need to add more, you can. Oh, same thing. Very nice. Okay, people. You have some ideas here for doing making some materials for your artwork. You can find them anywhere, anywhere. Just use your imagination, walk around your garage, walk around your kitchen, walk outside, which is about all you can do right now. So, and see what you find. What the heck? What do you got to lose? Nothing. Okay, so I think tomorrow we will come back and I will show you how the highlighting or the next layer of painting goes on the sampler, and then I'll probably show you another little doodad, something that I use a lot when I create. I will tell you this, I had classes scheduled, workshops scheduled for this year, and while I'm doing that, workshop scheduled for the year, and I would say that probably, the odds are good those aren't going to happen. I had one scheduled for a couple of weeks in June, and I would say that's not going to happen. In fact, I'm about to cancel that one and refund. So what I thought I'd do is I will continue to give you guys tips on things, little things that I would have covered in the first few days there. But then I'm going to, because, loss of income gets us all, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do some paid courses. And it will basically be the same way you're doing this here. I will create them and I'll put them in a secret group. And when you have bought the course, I will give you the password, and you can get in there and you will have access to all the videos and the materials, links, and all that stuff. So, and kind of do the things that I was going to do this year that don't look like they're going to happen. But I'll also continue to do these freebies for you. Okay? All right. We are done for today. So enjoy yourself playing in the paint, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.